Can I speak to Detective Baker or Barnes? They're looking after my husband's case.
Is this about a restraining order?
No.
Yes, actually, I would say it really is. I think there's a huge duality to this character, specifically at the end. She becomes quite bifurcated in the kind of woman she is and was. And I think, you know, in the socio-economic background in which she is living, women can disappear. Women become invisible. Mums become invisible. You don't become a name anymore, you become the mother of those two children, the wife of that man who died. And I think it's her gaining or regaining her visibility, her place in the world. And this movie is about her finding a voice, finding her footing again, and also fighting for something that she believes in. And I believe the character of Sarah has probably had to fight very few battles. Sarah, well, we share names, so there was a start. No, there's not many similarities between myself and the character of Sarah. I mean, first of all, the idea of having two children at this point in my life is so insane to me, and the fact that she does it, and she does it without a husband, without a partner, it's so commendable, and she's a stronger and braver woman than I probably will ever be.
And then from the police?
No.
That estate. Nothing good ever came out of it.
There's a book called Slumland, which is a book set in Berlin, and Slumberland, I'm so sorry. And there was an element of that, you know, of being sort of hard done by, about being impoverished. And something in that book really made me think of Sarah, interestingly enough. It was like a Pulitzer Prize winner there, probably about like 4 years ago. But to create this character, it's interesting. I really spoke to my mother, my own mother. I mean, for the first time ever, asking her questions about what is it like to raise two kids? How does that make you feel? How does that change your everyday experiences? Because the one thing my mother said to me, which was so powerful, my dad works a lot, he was never in the house, and the idea that my mother was constantly terrified we'd fall over, constantly terrified she'd lose one of us. And the idea that Sarah is constantly terrified, I think brought something for the character, for me, that really changed my perspective on how to play her. That she is, like I think all parents end up being, which is a little selfless. You put them behind you. You take the first hit. You put the barrel of the gun to your head before theirs. It is a strange world to sort of dive into, and then when you bring in sort of the other characters, which are drug, which are violent, which are gang related, it's a terrifying world for any person to deal with, and it just shows her strength and capability that she's able to sort of meander through it in such an impressive way. My mother was so wonderful because there's very few moments where I've actually had to come to her and ask for advice about my job. Acting, she's a pastry chef, they're very different. And it was like a lovely bonding experience for us to be able to talk about work and talk about like the similarities in lives and sort of take advice from her. It was lovely.
Get out!
Who else is here?
It's just the three of us.
Oh, I mean, first of all, being invited to a festival like Molins it makes me feel like we've created something that's very impressive. This festival feels like it's bigger than I have ever imagined a festival could be. I think the people are so kind and respect movies, so you feel like your movie is very special. They make you feel like your movie and what you've created is very special. And when we're filming it, like long hours, cold nights, shoots in the middle of nowhere, you forget that sometimes what you're making is really special. And it's festivals like this that remind you so greatly that what you're doing is important.
I mean, with the children.
No, they're my children. I'm their mother, and I love them.